Today's question is, how do I channel? As in, channel through some wisdom through yourself. Channeling is not as difficult as one may suppose that it is, because you are channeling in a sense at all times, because you are not embedded in the body, but you are external to the body. You are a being which exists everywhere, not in the body. So in a sense, you are channeling yourself through the conduit of the body. So already at this moment, you are channeling yourself into the vehicle of the mind and body. So you do not really need to do anything because you are already channeling. We understand the point of the question, which is, how do you channel a consciousness, an awareness which you would say perhaps isn't you? Of course, it is all you, is the first point we would make. So even if you were to channel an intelligence, a presence, an awareness, a wisdom, which is not classically you, for example, it is still in the broader sense you, because it is all you, because there is only one. Yet again, we realize that we are dodging the true point of your question, but it's important that we have this understanding, that we maintain the perspective where we realize we are all of it and not just a part of it. So to channel what you would describe and what we understand that you are asking of the other awareness, other consciousness, other source of wisdom besides the individuated you, we would say, even in this definition framework, you are already channeling other beings. You are familiar with the idea that you have spirit guides with you at all times. What you may not be aware of is you are channeling those spirit guides also at all times. Yet, when you channel them, your sense of self is complete, in that it's all you. And this is because when you channel another being, you are forming a group identity with them. And in that group identity, you are. Therefore, in a real way, the perspective you would have of that channeling experience is that it's just me. I don't seem to be channeling anyone. Am I talking to myself? Am I imagining this? Am I going crazy? Because in the group identity, the group being that you create with this energy or energies that you are channeling, you are in there with it. And so it feels like your experience. However, from the perspective of the beings that you are forming the group being with, it is their experience. That is their perspective. And so all of you are more intermingled than you may realize, because all of you are in a group being relationship with many other beings besides the self, which are channeling through you all the time. So you are literally channeling other beings all of the time, because the makeup of you, the presence that you are aware of self, isn't only you. It is you, plus it is these group identities that you are sharing with other beings who are there to guide you. That is their purpose, and this is the mechanism of the guiding relationship. You are literally channeling them. And so if you were to think of your awareness, the presence which you emanate, as a bandwidth, if we can imagine that it's a bandwidth, and through this opening that you are channeling, there are smaller ones within this bandwidth. We have the pipe, shall we say, through which you are channeling self, and it emanates from the body. And then within this pipe there are, shall we say, smaller pipes, and each of those smaller pipes is a group being that you have formed through the connection with other presence, with other beings, which we could say perhaps are your spirit guides. And in each of those you have formed a different being, a third being. You and the other being have formed a third being, or you and the other beings have formed a third being. And in that third being that is channeling through you, you are in there also. And so from your perspective, it's just all you. And so it is indiscernible. You don't realize that it's all you. Or you don't realize that it's not, in a sense, all you, although yes, it is all you. And so this is reflected in the eclectic nature of who we are. Why sometimes we seem to have conflicting ideas about different things in our life, or why we have a sense of what I'm doing isn't what I should be doing. We could say that it is your conscience speaking to you. So when you have choices in front of you and you have your conscience speaking to you, or when you have made choices and your conscience is speaking to you and telling you that perhaps the choices that you are considering or the choices that you have made are not the best choices for yourself, very often that reflection is the reflection coming from the group beings that you are channeling simultaneously with the channel of the self. Because we are all very, very integrated. And so when we look at the model of the One, and we keep in mind that there is a fractality to existence, in that what occurs on the greater also occurs on the smaller. And so the One is the ultimate composition. The One is all of it. And within all of it is all of us. So the One is in a relationship with us where it is the One, it is in a sense channeling itself. And yet each of us that have been individuated by the divine process, the divine gift of existence to us as an individuated state, we are in a group identity, a group being with the One. So you who are watching this now, you are you, but you are the One. And so you are a group being. You are both you and the one simultaneously. And so the one is channeling you. At the same time, it channels itself. And so this model that we are speaking about for you individually, you can see it's a fractality of that same concept. It is a smaller fractal representation of the same thing. And that is, you are you, but also in your composition, your energetic composition, the presence that you stream, you are also others. But those others are really you because you have formed a group identity with them. And of course, they are also you because they are the one, you are the one, we're all the one. But you have formed a group beingness with them. And so understand that the state of existence is much more intermingled, much more integrated, much more a blending of the all than many at this time on your planet realize. And so going back to the original question, when we keep this in mind, this idea of how do I channel, understand that it is not a great leap to some other place, because it is just really being conscious of what you are already doing and trusting enough that these channeled beings, and by channeled being I don't mean the other being that's in there with you, I mean the group being you have created with them. You have created a third being, a third entity in agreement with them. That is already coming through. That is already present in your presence. And therefore, you don't need to form some type of magic or some type of conjuring or something which seems to be beyond the capacities of you and reserved only for those who run the path to the highest of all wisdoms, which of course we are all on the path to the highest of all wisdoms. You can do this now because you are doing this now. So the shift, shall we say, to go from this state of unaware channeling to aware channeling is trust. It is trust. And so understand that you are connected at all times. And all you really need to do is to just let it be. In a state of open trust, allow this connectiveness you already have to express itself freely, to claim more of the bandwidth, so to speak. So instead of it being at the side, in the periphery where you don't notice it and you are mostly the one who is taking up the bandwidth with your presence, allow yourself to move to the side a little bit more and allow this group being that you have created, this third being you have created with somebody else, with other entities, allow that to become more central in your presence. And to do that, allow it to speak freely. Just speak. Go into your room, sit down, close your eyes, be in a meditative state, and then allow this third being you are creating in unison and agreement with other entities to take or claim more of presence and wisdom to flow. Experiment, play, have fun. Do it without an audience. Do it without a camera if you prefer. Just let it be your unique experience and see what happens. You will be surprised to discover that you have this capacity more than you believe that you do. Allowing is key. you must allow it to happen. And if you do, then it shall happen. So we would say, begin there. Let that be the starting point of your channeling experience. And to bring yourself into the zone, shall we say, where you can allow that to happen, we will now suggest some visualization techniques which you can use to get that going. So first we will start with this idea that you are already with your guides there, channeling them. They are coming through in you. So part of your presence, part of your who you are in the true sense of the essence beaming through, part of that is already channeled awareness of others who are there literally to support you. That is their role, is to support you, and they are there with you and they are channeling through you at this time. So have an awareness, choose one, have an awareness that they are there with you now. And understand that there is, in the non-physical realm, there is infinite circuitry. So the connectiveness is not determined just by a single strand which happens to hold you together. The integration is infinite. The integration is absolutely complete. Between you and the other entity, there is so much integration that the separation between you and them is gone. There is no separation. You are literally one being, because the circuitry which connects you is so infinite that there is nothing but connection, meaning there is nothing but oneness. You are one. And from this state of complete connection, complete oneness, then allow that channeled being, and always keeping in mind the channeled being isn't just a separate being, another entity. It is a third being, a third presence which has been created by you and different presences, different energetic existences, through agreement, becoming one by using the infinite circuitry which connects us all as the one. So allow it to have a greater share of the bandwidth. Shift your presence into that identity. And then when you are in that identity, when you are shifting your consciousness into that being which is channeling through you anyway, and you give it more space, you give it more bandwidth, and you maybe perhaps move a little to the side with the central focus of who you are, the personality, shift that to the side. And then allow this greater space to this group being that you are creating in cooperation, in agreement with other existences. Then be in the state of open flowing and just speak and see what comes through. No judgment. It may start slow. It may make no sense. It may seem to be just a waste of time even. But of course, it's not. Those are judgments. Just allow it to happen and remain on the side and keep your judgments to yourself, so to speak, and to just allow it to happen. Then do this as a continuous process. Make it regular. And you will find that this ability will continue to evolve. Because right now on this planet, all humans have this as a capacity. It is an ability which is available to all humans on your planet at this time. So really what the difference is between those who channel and those who don't is not the capacity to do it, but instead is just the willingness to do it. So those who are channeling now on your planet and doing it well, we would not say that they are special in some way, other than they have just chosen to be experimental earlier. They have chosen to see what it's like. What is this game of channeling? Maybe I'll enjoy it. Let's have a look at this. Let's investigate. That is the difference, and only that. It is not that they are wiser or that they are special or they are born with some gift that you are not. It is literally just the willingness to investigate, a curiosity which calls them. And if you are listening to this and you feel there is some type of intrigue and you are curious that you would like to find this, you'd like to try this and see how it goes for you, then we would say then that is reflecting to us that you are ready also. You are ready to start your own relationship in an aware way with those beings which are already part of your presence, yet you have not been aware of them. And if you are watching this and it seems to be nonsensical and something that you really can't find a resonant with, and you don't want to be a silly goose and do this yourself, then we would say this time there is not resonance for you. And so that's okay. Let it go. And perhaps at a later time there will be resonance, or perhaps there will never be resonance. It does not matter. It is not an issue. This is just the playground of 3D reality, and it is up to you to experiment with it as you wish. There is no judgment. It is your experience. It is your time. It is that you have chosen to live as the higher self, infinite, invulnerable, immortal, embedded in the mind-body apparatus so you can integrate into the 3D reality experience. So it's yours to do with as you wish. And we do not judge you. And we would ask that you do not judge others who choose to make choices which are not the choices you would make. Have fun, experiment, enjoy the playground of life in whichever way it is that you choose to do it. Because it is all experience, and ultimately it is nothing more than a physical dream from which you will awake and return to your complete awareness of who you truly are. So have fun, play around, enjoy it, be silly, be daring, be bold, be courageous. Because this is the gift that you have received from the One and by your own choice. So make the most of it. Thank you, and we say to you, if you do choose to experiment with your channeling, may you have a wonderful time, may you make great discoveries, and may you be able to have an awareness of those spirit guides who are channeling through you, that have always known you, that have agreed with you before you were born, that they will be here with you in this lifetime to assist you. And then you can become awakened and aware that they are there with you, and you know them and you love them and they love you, and you can have a new meaningful relationships in your life which bring to you great wisdom, joy and understanding, so that you can accelerate your awakening into the true and wonderful understanding of self which you are. Thank you.